Okay, so I'm going to go through the the few questions that have the factorization, but you got to flip sign. Okay, so the few questions where you got to factorize with a flip sign are the questions here. So these are the questions which got the flip sign. So when we try to flip sign, right? Okay, so the idea is very simple. So if you try to flip sign, the idea is actually you factorize out a -1. So the idea is if you factorize out a -1. So it actually looks like this. So you will switch a position, okay, but it's still a minus. Okay, so you flip it over. So the flip is actually this one. So we flip the position. Okay, so the direct way will be something like this. So some of you may notice that there is a flip. So some of you may not even notice that there is a flip. So you actually need to observe. So can you see that these two are kind of a flip? So they are not the same. So you actually got to flip over. So they look almost the same except the position is not the same. So what I will usually do will be, I will flip the second bracket. So I will flip the second bracket. So I'll flip over the second bracket. And when I flip the second bracket, right, I actually create a negative value. So when I flip, right, the -1 is being factorized out. So observe the sign. So the negative and -1 here will become a positive. Then your two brackets is exactly identical. So the two brackets are exactly identical after this. So that will be your common factor. So this will be your answer. So some people will do a direct here. That's also fine. Usually I actually do a direct. But some of you may not understand. You keep thinking, why is it like this? So it's actually a factorization of -1. And the -1 multiplied with the -3m will become positive. But if you can understand this, right, you can do a direct flip. Okay, and if your answer is the other way around, that means your bracket is switched the other way, right? It doesn't matter. You will still be accepted as the answer. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few more on this. And then from here, right, please make sure you learn. So the next one is on question 4b. So question 4b, right, you need to observe that the bracket is a flip. So when you observe that, okay, again, we try to change the second one. So I'm going to flip the second one. Okay, I'm going to factorize out a -1. I'm going to factorize out a -1. The positive 5d and the -1 will become a -5d. Then you will get a same bracket for you to factorize as a common factor. So it's actually not a very long thing. So some people will directly get to this part. From here, they can directly get to this part. So once you flip it, there is a change in the sign because the effect of flipping is there is a -1. You actually factorize out a -1. So for 6b part 2, okay, again you observe there is actually a flip. So I will always change the second one. Okay, I will always change the second one. So I will always change the second one. And then you observe positive and -1 will become a negative. And you will get same bracket for you to factorize out as the final answer. So some people, right, they will directly come to this part. So if you can directly come to this part, then that's also correct. Okay, the next one is on question 12C. So if you look at question 12C, again, there is a flip. So there is a flip. So which one do we change? We always change the second one. Okay, that's for me lah. It's easier if you have standardized it. Then, and notice what actually happened. G and -1 become -G. And you got the same bracket to factorize out. So that is the idea when you need to factorize with a flip. Okay, I mean, this is my term that I'll be using. So you are going to flip. And this is one of the more basic factorization in Sec 2. There are more difficult ones. So try to make sure from these 4 examples you can understand. It's actually very repetitive. So if you get it from these 4, right, anything you can execute it. So as you progress to Sec 2, you also can upgrade a little bit. Sometimes you don't need so many questions just to get one idea. Because in Sec 2, right, you've got so many ideas that you need to learn. So if every idea you need a lot of time, you need a lot of examples, you find that you couldn't cope. So make sure from that few examples you understand, and then you don't forget, and you can execute it 100%.